Heya fire signs, welcome to your 4/4 portal reading in honor of the fours of 4 directions, 4 elements, and so forth. I also wanted to get messages from the fire signs direction, which is north. So we will be asking the north today what good news of stability it brings for you. I've intuitively picked out the Moss Agate, which is good for symbolizing of growth, as well as stability, $55. But yeah, balance. I don't think this is travel. I think adventuring is for traveling. But some of you may be traveling since it came to mind. I really feel like you've been nurturing your emotions, balancing your feminine and masculine energies, which is your give and take. Fire is also supposed to be known for the Fae realm, so some of you may work with those if you believe in elementals or entities of different otherworldlies. That can mean extra confirmation for you that these messages are yours. If not, then that just means that you really enjoy sci-fi and fiction. If you like comic books as well as like D&D, where you make your own fantasies, they're bringing that to the forefront as well. A lot of book readers inside of our for our fire signs here. Can we get messages from the north? So you can live in the north side of your city or where you live. That doesn't have to be, but you can definitely be extra confirmation for you. What news of stability comes for our fire signs, please, North Spirit? Two of Swords. So you may be feeling a emotional, like, creative block in between what you want to do and what you've always done. I feel like some of you want to branch out and try another thing. For like an example, you've always done a certain type of music that involves singing, but now you want to try producing. 333. Yeah, get on the move. You want to get on the move on with other parts and creative self, and you're wondering whether branching out is going to like be successful. You're really worried about whether or not being successful in more than one thing. And honestly, as humans are very multidimensional, multifaceted, and jack of all trade is definitely a name, but you get to be master of some. You don't have to be the master of everything, but yeah, you certainly should delve out and give yourself that opportunity. And even if you don't become super successful or like a pro at it, you can still use those tidbits to like form more knowledge, and you can reach out and network more. Like, let's say you've only ever played ball hockey, but you decided to give real hockey a go, and you ended up getting some tips and more people in the area to be friends with. Or you've only ever played D&D and you want to play MTG now, or you've you're like, what if I'm not good at it? And I feel like you'll come to realize that a lot of your interests and hobbies can overlap with each other. Like with Warhammer, you gotta build and paint all of those figurines, right? But at the same time, and like soldering, well, why is that any different from soldering with when you're working on an actual motor vehicle, right? Or like a lawnmower, or patching up your work pants is any different than trying to design a dress. You don't know if you'll be able to take all that knowledge you've learned at a different craft and take it and make a new spin, and it could be useful in different areas of your life that you never thought would be in the first place. My own personal example. I've wrote poetry for like a long part of my life. And I've loved it from even younger. And when I started doing poetry, and I wanted to write my book, and I'm almost finished, we have rhapsodomancy now, which was really old form of divination, but I didn't know it existed until only like 2 years ago. And like it's been there all this time in the background, but I didn't know learning how to do divination tarot would help me learn how to do an ancient form of divination. Like that's bonkers. But like you'll never know when like two of your talents and skills may like be able to be formed into something new that only you could come up with, right? So don't discredit yourself or shoot yourself down. You're full of great ideas, and I feel like some people may have creative differences in putting it down, but it's not up to them to decide what's creative for you. You get to decide yourself what is creative for you. So we got cat hair in my mouth. Some of you may have pets, or work with animals. Some of you may have worked with animals at one point, but now you like want to do photography, and the fact that you've worked with animals before makes it easier to do photography out in the wild. I'm not sure why that came to mind. It might be pertinent for some of you fire signs out there. It might core memory or something. We have grieving and letting go with the death of rebirth. So yeah, you're letting go of you're not even letting go of a past version of you, right? You're just developing into the next stage. Like with Dragon Ball Z, this isn't even my final form. And I feel like for you, fire signs, that it's safe to feel stable despite the fact that you want to build on to the person you already are. That doesn't mean that you lose your old self. It doesn't mean that you have to give up your old interests. It just means that you're delving in more deeply into yourself. You're becoming that final form. Goku still considers himself a student of Master Roshi, even though he became a Super Saiyan God and died. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen, but like you're like, yeah, with Goku, like even in death he wanted to learn more. So I feel like for you learned more. Some of you could have went through an actual like spiritual death, ego death. Some people call it a Kundalini awakening, or like a dark night of the soul. And you're coming back out of it and letting go of the grief of things that you may have been telling yourself that you're not good enough from when you were younger, and really transcending that judgment into compassion. And you're starting to really decide, you're like, am I gonna let the voices of all those people who bullied me and told me I was never going to be anything decide where I go, or am I going to give myself self-compassion and really go towards what I want to? And it's true, you can have both. Both can exist at the same time. You could be scared of moving forward and move forward. You could be scared of trying new things and try new things. You can still, you know, be hurt from the past and still move forward. You can still not know what you're doing and do your best anyway. And I feel like it's okay to make mistakes, and I feel like you're really gonna find stability in being able to talk to yourself nicer and try new things. Being spontaneous. You're gonna find stability in being spontaneous and having change within your life. I'm gonna try to have one more card here, I feel. Can we get one more card, please, from the North for our fire signs on how what is it? Good news on so that they feel stable. A partnership, whether that's partnering up with yourself, your creative side, or if you're actually finding a business partner, like an intimate partner or partners, depending on how your relationship is. And so, yeah, you're really a Two of Cups, so really delving into your authentic self of creation. Authentic connection as well. You could have been afraid of making new connections, as you could be scared that your friendships or relationships don't last that long. And I feel like you're delving into that authentic connection. Now that you're starting to talk nicer, you're starting to attract nicer things towards yourself. And I feel like it's time to like open your heart with the Four of Wands, stability. So that's what I have here for you. My 1, 2, 3 on the clock. For you, my fire signs, as well as messages from the North. So thank you for coming through, and remember to eat, hydrate, and have fun. Bye.